sharing one example of my sexual assault experiences in life. In my late teens, I was in the recovery room of a hospital. As I was coming to after surgery, I was sexually assaulted by 5 to 6 female nurses. I clearly heard them commenting on how large I was, talking about cock-shaped lollipops, boob-shaped candies, etc. They were fondling me and I was trying to push their hands away. I recall them holding my hands down. They were enjoying themselves. I recall being taken to my hospital room. My girlfriend at the time was outside of the room door. She touched my shoulder as I went by. Soon after I was placed on my bed, I regained consciousness. I told her what happened and asked to speak to the head nurse. I filed a complaint. Nothing was accomplished. I couldn't even find out who the nurses were due to protecting their privacy. Long story short, I spent from 1987 to 1997 trying to seek justice. Off and on over the following years, I went to the police and finally was threatened that if I went there again, they would charge me, saying, "Why would you do that to people who help people?" I had lawyers file police reports over the years until I finally gave up. Although I do not dwell on this event, and I have let it go, it still bothers me. But there's a punchline to this story. Unknowingly to me, my complaint showed up on CPIC, the police computer database, but not clear I was the complainant. Any official reading the database wouldn't know the truth unless they requested the files. Over the years that followed, I never understood why I was called a sexual offender, and I was only ever told it was a misunderstanding. I was falsely accused of sexual assault in December 2012. Looking back now, it appears the allegation was taken very seriously, not only because it was an accusation by a female, but the feminist narrative would have anyone reading CPIC assume the complaints were against me. May 4th, 2013, 2 officers did street justice on behalf of the female. They were clear why they beat me, leaving me disabled for life. They also stated, "What kind of sick fuck gets investigated for such things?" along with other things they said. The handcuffs were so tight, my wrists were bleeding, as they left the handcuffs on for several hours. June 2013, I spoke to many authorities about what is going on. This is when I learned that my sexual assault complaints were the issue. I did record this as proof when talking to them. I actually included this in my filed materials for the second voir dire. See my other videos for more details on my current ongoing case. This is but one example in my life of sexual abuse. Later in life, I found myself to be an open-minded person. I used to model nude, go to nudist camps, party naked, and had more women than can count. FYI, the woman I married was a nurse. See my long version video for more about this. Since 1999, I've turned down countless of offers by women, with a few times regrettably messing around. This began when I didn't know what happened to my wife overseas. In the beginning, I avoided temptations. This expanded into this becoming my new norm. In 2011, I learned my wife was okay and thought, perhaps, maybe, I might find someone someday when I'm ready. But with what happened to me on December 2012 and May 4th, 2013, and my not being involved with someone for almost 20 years, and most of all, what I learned about feminism, it's just not worth getting involved with anyone. Besides, I'm too old to start with anyone anyway. I'm a broken old man. I have many other sexual abuse stories from my childhood involving a few men, but mostly involving women. Off topic of sexual abuse, what inspired me to move out on my own when I was 17 years old was after I almost died after bleeding from every orifice. I went from 225 pounds to 140 pounds in 1 month. I ended up in the hospital, on my deathbed, down the hall from where I was born. To the surprise of the doctors, I survived. My mother and her husband never came to visit me, and my mother was not pleased when I returned to their home. My mother's excuse on what happened to me was, the well water must have been contaminated. I replied we all drank from the same well water. After she left my father for another man, who is her husband, and although using me as revenge against him for the divorce, she never wanted me in her life. She told me many times, and the mental and physical abuse I endured was extensive. I'll leave it to you to draw your own conclusion as to what happened to me, putting me in the hospital. But you know, I've always respected and worshipped women in life, so much so, I even sold myself to them. Yet, somewhere within all this, I have been villainized and victimized because I am male.